You'll never regret serving God.
Yeah.
Like whatever that is, there is no more joy in life than to find God's will and do it. And that doesn't mean that everybody is going to travel and preach. Some are going to spend their lives in one place, but the joy is in serving Jesus. It's not in a location, it's in a relationship. And I love what I do.
Yes, and I echo that. I mean, there is a joy in the journey, and God, there are times of where you're up against the wall, you're fatigued, you're pressing, and then the Lord just has ways to encourage you. Here, just about 2 months ago, my niece is battling through cancer, and she was going to a clinic out of country and getting some treatment, and they sent me a picture of this young man who was in this clinic out of the country, and they got to talking with him, and he got saved in a camp. When he found out that they were related to Dean Miller, who was a pastor in Colorado, he said, I got saved at a camp that he preached at years ago and changed my life. And his story was so amazing, and it came at a time when I really needed to hear that, and just to remember that, he was one of those kids in a crowd somewhere, and I was probably preaching tired at a camp, and yet God used that in that young man's life to change eternity, change life. I mean, just those are incredible things.
It's cool to see that stat from Goose. We've been in ministry, like just working, serving for nearly 10 years, something like that. And I'd say that we're at the beginning of it. Right, we're at the beginning of it. These guys are in the midst of it. You guys have been there. You've seen a lot of years.
Thank you for not saying I'm at
the end of it.
Listen, I thought about it. I really did think about it, but I thought the grey hairs were enough to show your age, so that was fine.
Thank you. I think this interview is
I'm going to regret that one.
Yeah, you are, definitely.
Anyway, so like these guys have been through it. They've seen it. They've seen a lot of it. And we've only been in 10 years of it, and it's so easy to get discouraged in it. Bro, it's hard, man. Like, in the small capacity we do, it gets hard, it gets difficult, and it gets so easy to want to throw in the towel. And I think a lot of Christians feel that, especially a lot of young Christians who feel fatigued already. I mean, you've got a lot of teenagers, young adults who get thrust into ministry, and then there's just so much that they're doing. And it's easy to sort of get lost in it all and think, mate, this is too difficult. How do you guys keep reviving yourselves to say, no, it's for the Lord, no matter what the result might be, we're going to keep going?
Yeah. Ministry in the flesh will drain you. Ministry in the spirit will sustain you. So there's always going to be the inevitable weariness, physical weariness. I mean, airplane travel or wherever your context is, just being tired. We can be weary in the work, but we're not weary of the work when our focus is upon Christ. And we do what we do for him. We're not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ doing the will of God from the heart. And I think I speak for you, Dean, when I say that that's the joy of it. Coming back to, we do what we do for an audience of one.
Right.
Do what
Absolutely.
we do for Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that I've learned along the way is I have to really steward my personal relationship with Christ and just walking with the Lord day to day. And in the airports, when the changes happen, you just immediately rest in the fact that he has a plan, he has a will, he's walking through this with you, he's called you, and all of this is with him and for him and by him and ultimately to him. And that's the joy.